Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I am excited to do my makeup with you. I'm going to be using a lot of CATRICE products, some of them that I've used before. I'll link my wedding makeup tutorial below that I did for a friend's wedding a few months ago, and I love how that makeup turned out. I love the CATRICE brand. I have some new products to show you, some kind of like improved products, and overall, I'm very happy with them. So starting out with a fresh face, I just did my morning skincare routine, so if that's up already, I'll link it in the description as well. So let's just get into it. I think I'm gonna do a bit of a primer today. I have this great one from Avon. It has SPF 20. I actually already did some SPF, but might as well try this one out. I'm just gonna put it on with my fingers here. This one is mattifying, as mentioned, and I'm going to avoid my eyes at all costs because once I put this around my eyes, and I was literally crying all day because it can be very, very irritating. So here we go on the face, and let me just put the rest down the neck. This is a silicone feeling primer. Not my favorite, but it'll do. So I'm gonna put the rest on the back of my hand. I've also been meaning to use like pore filling primers. I have this one from Filorga. It's called Time Flash. In the summer, my skin can look a little bit more textured, so I feel like those are really awesome just to combat that unevenness. And they should also keep this makeup on a little bit longer. So for my coverage, I'm gonna go in with this liquid coverage foundation. It's a bit too dark for me. It's in the shade 35 Natural Beige, but I have my beloved lightning drops, so I will be using those as well. Perfect. So as I drop this on my face, I realized I should probably put my hair back. Here we go. Okay, so one drop there, and then I'm just gonna do a drop of my Body Shop lightning drops. Okay, hold on. As this drips down my face, I just realized that I actually wanted to try my No More Red primer as well. So this is a new take on their redness correcting primer. Oh my gosh, look at this. This is real life. So I'm gonna put a little bit of this around my nose, on the chin, and then right here I have a bit of redness. So I'm gonna put that right there. And as you can maybe see, this gives a little bit of a green tinge, but it does counteract redness. I used the old one that they had, but this one is very blue. I swatched the two in the blog post below, so check that out. I wanted to just add that as kind of a layer so that I'll use hopefully less foundation. Now, Quo foundation brush, here we go, and I'm just going to blend the drops and my foundation together. This foundation has such a gorgeous finish. I think it's great for all skin tones as well. It's literally just long wearing coverage, you know? That's all it is, and it's so affordable. Do I have the price right on me here? $13.99. So affordable. You go to Sephora and foundations start at like $40 minimum, you know, and I don't think that's necessary, especially for somebody like me who might not wear makeup every single day, you know? Surely haven't been wearing it every single day in quarantine, but in general, I'm not wearing makeup every day. Guys, what I'm realizing right now is that I probably need a lot less foundation than I'm used to because of the primers. Isn't that interesting? I didn't think about that. So I'm gonna have to do a decent amount of blending, but overall, I like how this foundation is yellow tone because it makes my skin blend in, my skin on my face blend in better with the skin on my body that has the tanner on it as well. I'm making sure to take this kind of close to the ears and down the neck and also into the hairline area. Whenever my foundation is maybe looking like a little bit too much, sometimes I'll just take my hands and kind of press it in, or a sponge works really well to do this too. It kind of just makes it really diffuse well into your face and gives it more of a natural lived-in finish. So don't be shy to give your products a bit of a press. Although I don't always apply things with my fingers, I do like that act of pressing stuff in, especially if it might feel like it's kind of sitting on top. The foundation has set in beautifully, and I'm just about to powder it a bit with the Avon Magic Dust powder. So I'm just gonna tap some into the lid and close that up. The brush I'm using is amazing. It's Hakuhodo, and this is definitely something you're going to want to invest in. These brushes are just beautiful. So I'm going to really lightly apply that to the face. You can tell that I'm kind of out of practice because I did not even put my under eye concealer on yet. But I'm not going to put this particular powder under my eyes, so how about we get into that now. I'm using my CC cream from Tarte. I'm going to grab my Quo fingerprint style concealer brush and just dab that right under the eyes. This is so good. I really want to try Bobbi Brown corrector once this is done, but a little goes a long way in this, I find. So I've had it for a while and it's not going anywhere. So just feathering that in. For eyeshadow primer, I'm going to use this Wet n Wild one. It is tried and true. Just a little squirt of that. I'm going to apply it with my fingers. Just dab it right onto the lid. I've tried before to use eyeshadow primer under my concealer, and it is always a massive, massive fail. I don't know if anyone's had success with that. I do have this little Smashbox eye primer, under eye primer, I guess, but anyways, how many more steps do I need in my makeup routine? But this one is great, so I'll just bring it up all the way to the brow bones, but never under the eyes. So I'll let that kind of sit in, and as I do that, I want to talk concealers. I have been loving, well, the Camouflage concealer is fantastic. I'll actually use just a drop of that under my eyes. This one is more yellow toned. I have 15, and then I also have 7, which is a little bit more pinky. And this just works great. I don't love it for blemishes though, but then Catrice came out with a new concealer, so I'll show you that in a second. Look at how flawlessly that covers though. I mean, the corrector does help, but this is great. I find it stays on really long, and they have a good range of shades. I think they have 30 shades of the foundation and hopefully a similar amount of shades in their concealer. So there's that. Allow me to introduce you to these beautiful little sticks. They are the Slimmatic Camouflage sticks, and I have a few shades here. I, for one, am just amazed by how many light tones they have, okay? 2 natural, 5 fair ivory, 10 sand, and 20 light beige. So I think I'm gonna go for 10 sand. I have 2 little spots over here, so one there and one up here. Literally the perfect shade for my skin right now, but they go very light, and I think when it comes to shades, the drugstore is getting better with dark shades, but we're not there yet. I have to admit that when I first started wearing makeup, I went to Sephora for concealer because the drugstore did not have concealer that went light enough for my skin tone, and ones that were fuller coverage as well, because with the full coverage, you want to be able to kind of pack it on and really make a difference in what you're trying to cover, especially when I had like really red acne spots. So I'm so thrilled to see these little stick concealers because they are so nice. I'll put some swatches of the 4 shades comparing them on my blog, but in terms of like undertones, yellow and pink shades, they've totally nailed it with these. The texture is amazing. Really reminds me of the Morphe concealer I bought at IMATS. And these are, again, very, very affordable. So check out my blog post to see details on these. How good are these though for your handbag too? They are so skinny. They remind me of the Soft Lips lip balms. I just used a little precision brush to blend out the edges. Since this concealer is literally the perfect shade for me right now, I don't go over the top at all. I just dab it on from the stick and then blend out the edges, and I have long-lasting concealer. Next up, I am moving into eyeshadow, and I have the Insta palette right here, which is so much fun. Check out these shades. So I love how there's that kind of mix of cool and warm here, along with some beautiful matte tones. I know Samantha Jane talked about how much she loved these browns, and these are really cool, kind of like this marbly shade and this beautiful yellowy tone, which I will be using today. That marbly one kind of reminds me of my Catkin palette here. This particular shade in the center has that similar kind of marble look. So let's jump into that. All over the lid, I'm gonna start off with this great neutral peachy tone. So on a flat Sonia Kashuk brush, wow, check out that kind of matte lightness that it gives my lids. That is a really good base. Really pretty because it's kind of pinky, which I love. I'm then going in with just a Morphe blending brush. And I think I'm gonna go right in with the, oh wow, it's called #blogger. So the one I used before was #repost. So let's try a bit of #blogger and just kind of feather that into the crease. Oh, this looks great. I'm heading out tonight, so this is going to be a really nice warm look. I'm just bringing that kind of right up to under the brows. And why not just bring that onto the lower lash line while I'm here? Usually I'll use a smaller brush for that, but very cool. I love the finish of that color. Pretty. So let's do the same thing on the other side. Some of the #blogger right into the crease. These blend out flawlessly. Catrice powders are amazing. I would love to see them come out with some more ooh, that one's a little too dark. I would love to see them come out with some cream products because I haven't found great cream products at the drugstore aside from Kiko. I'm then using this Profusion more detailed brush and going into that FOMO color, and that's the yellowy tone. And I'm gonna just try and put that right on the lid. Ooh, that is pretty. Really, really nice. It's kind of like a foily tone. Ooh. Okay, this brush is great for applying that. Oh my goodness. Okay, so this shadow is a little more intense than I expected, but it's still really fun. So let's do some more on the other eye. This almost has like a creamy finish on the lid. It looks like it's almost one of those like pressed cream shadows, like the Infallible by L'Oreal. Wow. Oh my god, how cool is this? This is like the perfect concert, like festival makeup. So I'm gonna just apply a little bit onto the lower lash line. Then with that same brush, I'm gonna dip into #trending. This is like my favorite eyeshadow color of all time. Almost like a dusty rose. Just apply that to the lower lash line. With #Insta, this bright white, I'm gonna use just a detail brush here and put that right under my eyebrow. And then, you know what, might as well put a little bit of that in the inner corner as well. For eyeliner, I'm using my L'Oreal Lash Paradise. This is a great liquid liner. And so I'm going to pull up my eyebrow, just flatten out my lid here. Just drag it from inner corner all the way out. I love kind of the combination of short little strokes along with long strokes for liner. Go. This liner is actually kind of old. I haven't used it much, but I'm really impressed that it has not dried out yet. So L'Oreal Lash Paradise makes a good liner. I'm gonna go in with some brow pencil here. I was so excited to get these. These are the Brow Pen Pro from Catrice. I have two shades. I have Blonde Ash and Brown Ash, I believe. And they are really, really cool. So they remind me so much of my Wet n Wild eyebrow pencils, also similar to the Tom Ford. It's this kind of chunky, retractable pencil, but the part that really wowed me was this super cool kabuki style blender on the opposite side. I haven't had too much luck with this brush, unfortunately, but I will try it again today. What also surprises me is the fact that these are so cool toned, and that is very hard to find at the drugstore. Usually all of the blondes and brown shades are extremely orangey, so the fact that these are so taupey really make them stand out. I would absolutely recommend them. This blonde shade is great. The ash brown is a little bit too dark and ashy for me, but if you do have kind of graying hair or dark brown hair, that's gonna look amazing on you. So I literally just gently feather this through my brows. I have been shaping my brows myself, but they're a little bit of a mess. So I'm getting them done on Sunday, but here we go. Make sure you get a good amount at the front of your brows. I find mine are always more sparse there. And then with this little blender, just gonna use it to kind of brush the brows up. I just find that it doesn't really give those precise kind of like bristly strokes that a regular spoolie would give, but it does blend, so we'll see. It also, yeah, does an okay job at grabbing at the hairs. Fortunately, I just don't think it's perfect. I do kind of prefer the regular spoolie for kind of giving you that separation, but it's a really cool idea. It literally looks like a small artiste brush right at the end there. Sometimes if I do need a little extra color, I'll go in with a darker pencil and just target it where I need that kind of extra darkness. Because with some blonde shades, it can look kind of gray on my brows, but just adding a touch of that dark brown really gives me great sharpness. So I would absolutely recommend having 2 brow pencils on hand just to give you that extra oomph. I'm going to curl my lashes, which I've been getting back into because they just fall down way too much right now. My lashes are kind of in a downward spiral, but nothing that a bit of this Surratt lash curler can't help. So here we go. I don't really hold it long because I find I just need a very little uplift, and then I'm obsessed, always obsessed with my Dior lash primer. The Essence lash primer is also amazing, but this one is my tried and true. So I'm gonna put it on both eyes, a little bit on the bottom. I've been using Benefit's Bad Gal Bang mascara. It has this cool cone-shaped wand. It's been doing great things for my lashes in terms of length, and it lasts really well. Benefit make some of the best mascaras in the game, that's for sure. Roller Lash is a holy grail of mine. This one is really fun, and it makes it so easy to get into the inner corner. It wouldn't be mascara without getting some on my cheek. How much of a difference does that make? I should really make mascara as important as teeth brushing in my morning routine. This yellow shadow definitely doesn't make my greens pop in my eyes, but it does just brighten up my face. So I love that. I think it's so cool to try out new shades. Like for example, I just dislike blues and purples on my eyes, like kind of that turquoisey kind of color, but in terms of warm shades, I will experiment. I am gonna throw on a little bit of my NARS beige eyeliner just in the waterline here. Now that the mascara is hopefully dried down here, I'm just going to lift it off my cheek with a Q-tip. There we go. So you may have noticed that I haven't yet powdered under my eyes, and now is the time. I usually like to wait until after I'm done all of my shadows so I can sweep away any fallout. Now I'm using the Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Flawless Finish powder here in the shade 1. Just using this great Morphe precision brush here. I'm just gonna brush that right under the eyes. This powder is amazing for under the eyes. It is so finely milled. I'm hoping that it will help keep from, any transfer of my mascara or eyeliner. I'm going to grab some of this Sungasm bronzer. This is brand new. I love the minimal packaging. It's no fuss. I have this great Profusion brush. I find that Catrice powders are very good but very pigmented. So this brush is very feathery, so hopefully, it doesn't apply too much. So just in the hollows of my cheeks here and then up onto the forehead. I never do like crazy intense contouring, so something like this brush that just is extremely soft is perfect. After that, let's do some blush. I love the Catrice blushes. I have this California in a box right here. It's kind of clunky, but overall it's quite good. It has some nice options for face powders. Staying power is here nor there, I find, for Catrice, but I love these blushes. This is the Iman collection, so I am going to use this. But a brand new product that I did get is this Luminous Highlight and Blush Glow palette here. Has a cool cover as well. All of these are very slim, very compact, good for on the go. This is cool. It really reminds me of that NARS Orgasm collection that just came out with all the really peachy pinky shades. This pink right here is fun. It is totally like NARS Orgasm, but even a bit more shimmery. So that's a pretty blush. I don't want something so shiny on my cheeks right now, but I will use that highlighter eventually. So I'll put that to the side, and I'm gonna grab this Iman palette here. Maybe I'll use some of this orangey blush today. Wow, look at how much came off. I'm gonna tap that on the mirror, see if I can diffuse it a bit. Oh yeah, that's the problem with these. They're great, but they're so finicky, because if you put too much on, there's kind of no going back. So I'm just going to be very careful with how much I apply there. I'll put a little bit extra on my forehead, nose, chin. If in doubt though, I always go back with my powder brush or foundation brush to help really diffuse that out. I like to put my blush right on the apples and then bring that out onto the cheekbone. I finished up the look using a swipe of my H&M matte lipstick in the shade Follow My Lead. I also swooped on a bit of that lightest highlight from the Luminous palette from Catrice. Here is everything I used in the look. My final step was a spritz of the Longwear setting spray from Hard Candy. Thanks so much for watching, you guys. Subscribe for more, and I will see you in my next video.